shit, piss, cunt. Jesus, Creasus, where'd you get those peases? Jesus, Creasus, where'd you get those pies? I'm a penis, look at all my penis. Penis, penis, put it in my eyes. Hello, PSK, we're making that green. People always say, what the hell does that mean? P is for the penis that goes in my mouth. S is for the way I suck it out. K is because I'm king of sucking all the penises. Penis sucking king is what PSK means. PSK, making that green. Penis sucking king is what that means. I'm the king of sucking penises. Ip dap doo, skib it up bap bap, skib it up boo. Ha ha! Hi everybody, are you feeling good? I'm not, I wish I was somewhere else. Oh, did you think I was gonna say I wish I was dead? I told you, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that here. We're breaking from tradition. Because traditions are why the world's gone to shit. Today we're drawing Skyrim. That's the old sexual harassment art book theme tune. We're drawing the entirety of Skyrim. That's what we're doing today. What are you drawing today? Skyrim. What part of Skyrim? All of it. Probably. Well, maybe just a little bit. PSK, making that green. I had another song in my... What did I have? It was an MF Doom song. A Sofa King. Because it has that end bit of I am Sofa King, retard Ed. Odd, he couldn't find no remorse. A wink is as good as a nod to a blind horse. Of course, his technique was from a divine source. Never knew the price of ice or what swine cost. One guy tried to bite the heat. That's when he discovered the other white meat. Oh, the one they hate so well. Sure keeps it psycho like the old Bates Motel. They came to ask him for at least some new tracks, but only got confronted by the beast with two backs. Knock, mouse is a made man. Villain laid it down like the best laid plans. Fell the cat, who the hell is that near the middle? Got y'all, but it's not all bear and skittles. Prepare the viddle. Got riddles and tiddles, crystal clear to the juck or the tiddle. It's hot off the griddle. Came to take the cake, whether it's a lot or a little. Doom. Doom? Kaboom. Doom is nervous large. You could tell by his blooming room service charge. Dark and tall to boot. The only thing was wrong was he was bald as a coot. Used to ran a van for Peter Pan of Redding Tan and kept the human foot for his dead man's hand. This is when the mouse was brand spanking new, before it got rusted from drinking all the brew. Stankin' too, pew. Kept all his earnings in the bank in a shoe. Spat what he knew. Energy for true. To all fake rap, it's 23 skidoo. Excuse you, any room in the class front? Ha! Oh, so that's the entire song of Sofa King, apparently. Well, it's not. I should look up the words, because as you could tell, there's some words I don't know. Do-do-do. This is a dragon. Wow. Wow. Drawing a dragon. Drawing a dragon. Drawing a dragon. With my penis in my mouth. No, anyone would think I was obsessed with penises. I had another idea for a video, which I've become loath to talk about my ideas for videos, since approximately 0% of them actually come to fruition. But it's a time and an energy thing, and it's having time for actual shit that I make money from to, pay my bill. Which, frankly, I was going to say a bit later on how I've not had a lot of time No, not that. I've not had a lot of time. What was I going to... when it comes to showing... That's it. When it comes to showing you guys specifically what I've been working on, I feel like this week I don't have much to show. But then I did spend 2 days, like, a solid weekend drawing those cartoon characters. These ones. All of these new cartoon characters. They're all cartoon characters I've never drawn before. And so I drew a load of them. Literally, in one day I drew about 18. Yeah, and then the next day I did 12 to make the set of 30. Which, was frankly absurd that I managed to do that in a day. And I know, that's what I talk about when it's like, I know I'm capable of so much. Like, there's been times where I've done, like, 2 commissions in a day, which, it doesn't sound like much, but it's 2 full, like, drawings or whatever, start to finish, from concept to completion in a day. That's a lot. Like, I know I can do so fucking much. I can get so much done. But, it's the energy, the mental capacity, the emotional wherewithal to actually get this shit done. It's not as easy as just, I just do this in a day, no problem. There's a lot more to it than that, sadly. Anyway, Skyrim. Wow, have you guys played Skyrim? It's this new game. I hear they're making Skyrim 2, but they're calling it, like, number 6. I think it's like how they did GTA, and then GTA 2, and then GTA London. Or was that between 1 and 2? And then they had GTA 3, and then GTA Vice City. What? And then San Andreas. And then number 4. Like, wait a minute. And I know there was, like, Liberty City Stories, and there's some other shit in between there. And it's like, hang on, number 4, but there's, like, multiple other games come out since 3. How is this number 4? So I assume that's what they're doing with Skyrim. It's Skyrim 2, but it's not like they're calling it. I think because there were so many Elder Scrolls used in, like, especially if you had the DLC, there was like more Elder Scrolls. So I think they're basing it off that, calling it the Elder Scrolls 6, because there was like 6 Elder Scrolls in total or something, and that's why they're calling it number 6. But it's Skyrim 2. There's no real information on it yet. It's like, they show the tiniest little teaser trailer. And I'm joking, okay? Let's not, just because I know there's going to be some people that will be like, no, Ewan, actually, I think you're I know the Elder Scrolls, fucking Morrowind, Oblivion, all of that. I know, okay? I was playing a character. I was doing a bit. I don't actually think it's Skyrim 2. It pains me that I have to say that, but I can't be fucked getting the comments being like, actually. So you can all fucking suck a knob. Hello. Have you played Skyrim? I have. Obviously, I've still got my Xbox 360 I'm playing video games on, because I'm old and I don't like change. Which is why I voted for Brexit. I didn't. I don't vote, come on. Yeah, so I have the, like, Game of the Year edition or whatever of Skyrim. And what the fuck am I even talking about? Yeah, so I got the main DLCs, but obviously I don't have mods or anything like that. I have basically like the vanilla game. Vanilla, like, user interface, HUD, whatever. So it's nothing grandiose in terms of my gameplay experience. But, the friend Sam is an avid PC gamer, so he does all the mods and stuff. So I've seen a lot of them, and they are some pretty fucking cool ones. But it's one of those games that, like, occasionally, it doesn't get boring as such, but I get into a point where it becomes, which I had the same issue with Dead Rising, where it starts off really fun and cool, but then it gets to a point where you're just memorising almost just button combinations for certain situations when you play it too many times. And Skyrim can get a bit like that. Like if you play a game all the way through as much as you can and then you don't play it for a while, then the next time you play it, it's not like playing it brand new again, but it is a sense of like nostalgia when you hear the music and you're walking across like the plains of Whiterun and stuff, and it's all nice and like pleasant and cool, and you start off at a low level and you're fighting baddies. It's a good feeling. But then you play it a bit more and you start to get like, I remember hating this quest and this thing and the loading times and all this and that. Like, I want to go into this building real quick. Load. Okay, I forgot a thing. I need to leave. Load. Okay, now let's go to this. Load. But that's whatever. Ultimately, it's still a fun game to play. I enjoy it. My current character. Shall we talk about that's what fucking nerds, autistic nerds. You should talk about autism like that. Whatever. That's what they like to do, isn't it? They like to talk at length about their characters because they feel like they mean something. They don't normally, like, in general, I'll just be like annoyed because whatever. I got Viking heritage, so I'll be annoyed. But then I'm just guy in the game, playing game. I don't really care about like character and stuff. But then more recently, I think maybe just to make it a bit newer for myself, I've been actually like playing characters as characters. So I was playing this female orc, and then when I got to a high enough level that like I didn't give a fuck about armor or anything, I was running around in fur armor and I was using very basic weapons and like being almost like a survivalist kind of thing. That was pretty fun. And then whenever I came across people that weren't orcs using orc weapons, obviously I'd kill the people because they're bandits or whatever, but then I'd take their orc weapons, and then when I had a bunch of what could you call them, emancipated orc weaponry, I'd dump it all in a lake somewhere, just to be like, this is orc weaponry and you shouldn't be fucking using that shit. It's cultural appropriation, man. Which is silly. But, it's just something to do to add to my flavour of the game or whatever. Then my character after that was a human. I made them bold. I tried to make it like... is it Agent 47 from Hitman? So I got to the point of having... My weapons were basically just daggers. So obviously sneaking is the thing to do in Skyrim. You'd be the sneaky archer type or whatever, which is all good and fun. Now, wrong with that. But I figured I'd do that with a reason. So instead of just being a Nord that got good at sneaking and killing people with arrows and shit, I was actually like Hitman, fucking Agent 47. And I was stealth killing people left and right, all over the fucking place, murdering the sons of bitches. So that was fun. And then I'm playing it again. Recently just started another game just because, something to do in between drawings and shit. And I'm a lizard man, an Argonian, because they breathe underwater. Which I know there's like, you can get water breathing spells and items and stuff, which is cool. And I have real issues with water in general. Like, that's in real life, I'm scared of water. I can't swim, don't swim. Terrified of water. But to the point where it affects me in video games. If there's a bit of a video game where I have to like go underwater, I actually start fucking hyperventilating because I'm scared of running out of breath and shit. Because I'm weak. I'm a weak human being. I've got a lot of mental illness that dictates what I do in life. Because I'm a slave to it. But I think over the years, sort of not gotten over it, but gotten better at coping with it. So when it comes to having like water stuff in video games, if I know I can breathe underwater comfortably, then there's no issue and it's all good. So if I've got an item or a spell or a skill or something that lets me breathe indefinitely underwater, then we're okay. But if it's like, even if it's a temporary like potion of water breathing, breathe underwater for 60 seconds, I'm like desperately counting the seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, as I'm swimming around doing things, looking for chests or whatever. And then when I get to like 45, I'm like, okay, get up, get air, you're gonna die, you're gonna drown, fuck. Fucking Sonic the Hedgehog, man, that was the worst for it. Because you're underwater, you're running out of breath, you don't get to those bubbles quick enough, and then the music comes in and goes, and then you die, you drown, little Sonic goes, pops up, and then falls down the screen. Because you just fucking drowned. That's the stress of that fucking destroyed me as a kid, man. And I still get that feeling when I'm underwater in video games now. So if I can breathe underwater indefinitely, and I know I can, then it's all good. And Argonians can do that. So, plus it's like, not everywhere, but in certain places in Skyrim, they have put stuff underwater for you to find. In certain places, it's a larger area of stuff underwater for you to find. And it's like, I want to experience that part of the game that they've made. They've programmed all that shit into the game. And it's a shame to not do it because I'm scared of water. So having an Argonian is cool because it frees me up to explore that shit better. Yeah. Would be nice if they actually fucking brought out the Elder Scrolls 6, though, wouldn't it? Of course, I won't be able to play it. I'll have to buy a new fucking console or a PC that can actually play games or something. Or just spend all my time at Sam's house playing it at his. Which is cool. We've done that for a few games. I think when Fallout 4 came out, I think I was working like the day it came out, but the following weekend I spent the entire time there and we just played Fallout 4. We've done that for a couple of other games as well, which is cute. So maybe do that for Elder Scrolls 6 in 10 years if they finally release it. But until then, Skyrim's cool. Skyrim's pretty neat. I enjoy it. It always starts out as well the same way with... again, it's almost like I've already said, but I'll start out role-playing, like playing the character. And when I go to a new city at the start of a new game, I'll go to the inn, I'll buy and eat food, I'll get a bed for the night, I'll rest. But then, you know, you get a certain amount into the game and you start, like, never sleeping because fuck it. Oh, well-rested perk, brilliant, as if that fucking affects anything in the game. And then you just play the game as it's a game rather than like role-playing a character or something. It's fun for a little bit, but then it does get to be like, ugh, I'm not going to go to the inn and fucking sleep every night. I'm going to go to this fucking ruin, get the item, bring it back to the person who requested it. I'm going to transcribe the lexicon. It's an orc fighting a dragon. Look at that. Wow. Fucking magic. Let's take a look at the entirety of the Akira Saga by Katsuhiro Otomo. Akira. Right, so this might be a bit of a longer episode because we are going to look through the entirety of all 6 books. Here's a funny anecdote. I got books 1, 2 and 3. This is years and years ago at college age, 2006, 2007 sort of time. And then my friend Ryan had book 4 and I borrowed that from him to read it. And then I bought books 5 and 6. So for the longest time, I hadn't bought this one because I read it from a friend. So I was missing it from my collection. Then some very kind person got it for me as a gift after I'd mentioned that. However, I didn't realise until they were all on my shelf that fucking... It's by a different book publisher or something. So it's on my shelf with a different logo here. It was really, really annoying. I mean, ultimately, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. I've still got the books. It doesn't actually bug me. And now they're on my shelf. Like, that's what I see. So it's not really an issue these days. But I'm not actually going to look through all of them. Come on. I might do, look through one a week. But I might not. If something else comes up, I'll look through something else. But I might gradually work my way through looking through all of the fucking Akira books. Because... the art is fucking outstanding. Probably won't, flip through every single page. A few colour pages. Cool. There's a bit of a debate between me and my old friend at college from the animated movie of Akira. He preferred the updated version, whereas like digitally remastered and the voice acting was different. But I preferred the original version. It still had it was English dub, but I felt like the graphics not being remastered made it feel a bit more raw and like original. And I did watch the remastered version, but I always preferred the voice acting in the original also. So that's something. But the artwork's fucking cool, and I'm working on various comics here and there, black and white. So this is cool to look at as like inspiration and shit. That's something I need to look at. And that's also, if I'm working on my Zilla comic, and I do have plans for that sort of Zilla Survivors comic, this is post-apocalyptic, and there's a lot, especially further into the series of books, there's a lot of like post-apocalyptic sort of stuff. So that's really something I've got to pay attention to. Explosions, for one thing, are so hard to draw well. Man, and the little guy in there as well. His bike demolished and fucking clouds. Like Otomo is, it's redundant, completely pointless for me to say he's a master at what he does. You can do a book like this times 6 plus all the other stuff. He's done so much more than just Akira. Like Akira, especially in, our Western world, our white Western world, Akira is, the only reason you know the name Katsuhiro Otomo. The buildings he draws, I don't know if it's well known, but I think it's pretty well known that Todd McFarlane stole loads of backgrounds from Akira for Spider-Man comics, and I think Spawn as well and stuff. Just like photocopied them and used them as backgrounds for his comics, which is fair enough in a way, because like stock images are things that exist, and they exist as like things you like pull out and use as long as you buy the rights to them and whatever. So using other imagery for your purpose, especially if you're working to time frames and stuff. And I know a lot of manga artists use like stickers and transfers and stuff for background and foreground elements and designs and things. So there's ways of cutting corners and saving time here and there. So using pre-made backdrops for cities, especially when you want like that sort of level of detail in your cities, is fair enough. But when you're straight up photocopying another artist's work to use in your comic, when you're one of like arguably the biggest sort of Western comic creators around, seems a little bit much maybe. Really, really love his cityscapes. That's his big like buildings and skyscrapers and shit are really cool. But when I say cityscapes, I should say cities, like his inner city drawings, stuff like this, which I've said before in the original like Ghost in the Shell and Akira and a bunch of other things like that. One of the most impressive things to me was stuff like this, just cities that look like lived in cities, because it's so easy to draw buildings that just look like boxes with drawings of people around them. But to make it look like an actual fucking city with shit going on in it. It's really, really cool. And all the characters are so perfectly drawn panel to panel. He's so consistent. Man, so hard to do. And see, if I had a drawing like this on a page of my comic, I'd be like cross-hatching all the shadow on his clothing and his face, and you've got to know when to just have bold lines of just a white fucking shape. Because I get pages like, or panels or pages like this, and I'm like, oh, there's not enough black, I've got to add shading and stuff. But like, not every page, you have that when it's relevant to the story. Look at that, man. That's one of the things I wanted to do with Zilla originally as well, was stuff like this, crashing buildings and loads of like rubble and glass and smashing shit. Which I don't feel there's enough of in the current remade version, so I'm going to try and change that with the next couple of pages. That's amazing. To draw a few pages like that is a lot. To draw a fucking entire book is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But yeah, Otomo he's done so much, and all of it is just good. Like he I'm sure he has his off days, and there's probably a lot of stuff he's not happy with as an artist. That's how it goes. That's what it is to be an artist, is you're not happy with anything you do, let alone everything. Sublime. That's cool. The grey background, just the white of the flash, the muzzle flash, the bullet hole in the head. That's the shell. That's a cool panel. Stomp. The blood splatting. Oi, it's good shit, man. And that's a small. It's not even that big a deal. Not that much action going on, but it's primo. It's well done. The guns are really well drawn. I always have a tendency to go, guns must be big. So that one looks kind of small to me, but like it's a realistic size pistol, so it's perfectly reasonable. But yeah, he's done everything he does is he has like, he keeps to his level of quality, I guess. Everything is just high fucking quality artwork. Explosions, man. Crashing and explosions. That one going up into the night sky. Shit you think is just like, oh yeah, just draw an explosion. But then when you actually start to draw it, you're like, fuck. Where does the shadow go? Because the light's coming from within the explosion, so the shadow has to be kind of around on the outside, and the smoke, and it has to kind of go... Poof. And then you get pages like this. Oh, people talking, how fun. Let me draw panels and panels of people's faces talking. That's really fun, to draw the manipulation of water, weird shapes of liquid and goo. And the contrast, the black and the grey and the white, is something to pay attention to. I did try, I have some halftone dot patterns on my computer, because I don't use Photoshop like you're supposed to use it. I use it like a fucking amateur. And I tried adding in some halftone dots to a couple of pages of Zilla, but I think because I don't use necessarily really bold ink lines, like with a brush or an ink pen or anything, it's all cross-hatched and stuff. I don't feel that the halftone dots meld well with all of my cross-hatching and stuff, whereas something like this, where it's like pen and ink lines and then bolder blacks and stuff, the halftone works really well. It fits in. But personally, for my comic, I found that didn't work, so I think I'll stick to the cross-hatching for that. Motorbikes are hard to draw. And then if you're drawing them stylized and a lot of them on a page, some of they seem like fairly basic shapes, all of them, but you actually try and draw that shit. Draw a bunch of bikes going down a set of stairs, scared people around. That's a really, really cool panel. The shadow, the pill going into the mouth, the gulp. That's fucking... Because my dumb mind would go, draw building, draw windows, leave them white, draw the rest like grey or black to show that there's light inside. But it wouldn't be this shape of a building, it wouldn't be this well drawn with a helipad and shit on top. And then you can see the offices inside the building, which you actually can see. Like from far away, you just see lights. But if you're closer, you can actually see the entire office inside the building lit up. So he's drawn all of that, all desks and shit. Looking out over the city, that's such a good panel. So good. And it's so easy. If you're going to draw something like this, if you can draw it, you draw it. But then it's so easy to lose everything in this massive lines to the point where you can't tell what's happening, which I find with some of Kim Young-gi's work is it gets a bit busy to the point where you can't necessarily see what's what. If you watch him drawing it, obviously you can see it, you know, grow and appear as he does it. But if you just look at, not all of his pieces, but some of them, you look at them and they are a bit like, there's a lot going on. But then if they're like live drawings and stuff, it's like understandable. But then you see his comic book work and it's fine and it's all, you can tell what's what. He uses more contrast and shadow and it's all very good. Where are we time-wise? Maybe I won't flip through every single page individually. But yeah, I literally wanted to look through this just to like try and absorb some shit to put into my own comics. That's pretty classic. The old, I don't know what machine it is, where they're testing Tetsuo. Tetsuo. That's not funny at all. If you haven't read Akira, I recommend it. It's a lot. There's a lot to it. I've read the entire series, but like well over 10 years ago, and I remember some of it. There's some really, really cool artwork, some really cool panels in it. And the story, I think the story of the film is the first and some of the second book. And then there's like 4.5 or more books that you don't see in the film that carry the story on. And it's like pretty fucking intense, man. Also, I draw my pages really small. So when it comes to pages like this or panels like this, with all the detail and stuff, my lines can only get so thin because I'm drawing small. I draw like this big. So obviously when you're working sensibly at a bigger size, you can do all the cables and the poles and windows and dirt and cracks and shit and actually make it work. So that's something I need to work on. I need to try doing shit bigger. But especially for Zilla, it's, you know, the whole point is it's just remaking a dumb comic I made at university. It's not supposed to be this pristine work of art or anything. So maybe when I do Zilla Survivors, that'll be more, maybe I'll do that bigger. Maybe. I probably won't, but maybe. He didn't cover his ears from the explosion and his ears are ringing. That's funny. Which I think is funny in a lot of films and stuff. You see if they're indoors or like in a sewer or something, firing guns like it's nothing, like apparently not realizing how fucking loud that would be, that you'd actually go deaf. And that's one thing I want to see in video games as well, like playing Fallout, being in the sewers and stuff, firing guns. I'd love it if they had an environmental thing where if you were in a tunnel or somewhere, or even a building or whatever, and you fire a gun, it sounds like a gun in a tunnel, like this big, like, boom, and it echoes and shit, rather than just being like, pew, pew, pew. But I guess you can't have it all, can you? Love these bits. Just like an exploded body and you're not even sure how it exploded. I love that, where he telekinetically gets the bolts from his chain and throws them into his eyes, so they're right in front of his face, and then and then crushes his head. That's pretty fucking cool. Just a bloody mess on the floor. Which is one thing I really liked about the film, was when those bits crop up, especially the first time you see it, if you've never read the comic or anything, those bits are really unexpected and they do sort of get you like, oh, fuck. Like when he's in the hallway and it like goes boom, and all the people in the hallway like burst against the walls and shit. That really like is impactful. Trying to touch a girl up, that's nice. I remember looking at this stuff, I think even when I was in school I had this. I think I first saw Akira when I was 15. And just being fucking blown away by all of this. The detail and these little background pieces and the fucking buildings and shit. Because it's not just draw an old bowling place, it's draw a run-down bowling place that really looks run down. And it really does it just fucking perfectly. And I love all the little graffiti, the little clown drawings and stuff. Love Joker, the guy. With his sort of this way up and that way up clown makeup. I really love that. That's what I used to write. I probably shouldn't say. I used to write some form of the word circus when I was writing graffiti, but like spelt weird because I was cool. And a lot of that came from Akira and the clown gang, the clowns or whatever, because I loved all the imagery. It was really, really cool. Don't really care about circuses or clowns in general, but when it's a certain, like, I like, you know, gas masks, post-apocalyptic gang, street gang, motorcycle gang with clown makeup and stuff. I like that shit, man. And then Tetsuo goes and basically takes over the whole gang. The way he draws vehicles, man. There's some of his stuff where he's drawn spaceships and tanks, all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit. He's done so much. His vehicles are just insane. So solid and like real looking. Even if he's making them up, they're well drawn enough that you can completely believe what you're looking at. All right, let's fucking. This is where they go down that big elevator. Yeah. I love their coats. Look at them, the little people. My favourite thing. Look at them in the little coats and trousers. They look so cute. And that's Akira. Dum, 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 dum. That's so good. Cables and shit. So hard to just come up with that. Let alone draw it fucking realistically. Even the fence isn't just you know, a crosshatch line, it's individually drawn, like all the links overlap each other like an actual chain link fence. Okay, there it's just a crotch hatched line, but still, these little fine ships are really cool. The explosions are really cool. All the lines in the background and shit. Doo-doom. Shaboof. It's so impressive. Every couple of pages is just like, fuck. It's so well done, so well drawn, so well put together, laid out, consistent. And there's fucking this much of it in the first book. I think I copied this a whole bunch of times. Just literally like this panel for the buildings and shit. Looks like he's got a headache, doesn't it? I love this bit. He's obviously, I don't know if it's heroin or whatever he's taken, and he's just like, ugh. And then, bam! As he sits bolt upright, and everyone's like, ah, fuck! Time to go. Yes, boss. A monster. Tetsuo. Vroom. Look at that. Fucking badass riding his bike. No hands on his handlebars. It's Tetsuo. He's on the move. Let's get to the end of the first book, shall we? Fucking hell. Right, for this panel, I need to draw a guy on a bike crashing through the window of like a restaurant. Nice and easy, as you do. You can't really draw it any more perfect than that. He's crashing into the side of a car, of a truck or something. More bikes. To draw a bunch of guys on bikes having a fight, like a motorbike fucking road rash fight. To figure out who's going to be where, how to draw it all. Everyone crashing. Bananas, man. It's fucking ridiculous. Lousy little turd. Canada, that's all. But can he do it? Can he shoot his best friend? Oh no, he's telekinetically throwing a fucking forklift at him. Kabang. Draw a fucking shipping crate full of other crates of shit falling on some... Sure, give me 10 minutes, I'll knock it up. All the detail in the underside of the fucking thing and the engine and the... Hey. Ooh, fucked that guy up, didn't he? I love these bits of the comic where it's him using his fucking psycho powers. That, like, fucking, what do they call it? A double exposure, almost. His head flies back and just bursts right in front of Canada. His face is still basically screaming with his eyes wide open, but his head's just fucking opened up. Oy. He shot him. I know. Right in the gut. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Fucking hell. Look at this shit. You draw all that. I know it's like... It's a meme, it's a joke. It's probably racially insensitive, if not straight up racist. But Asians, they just do things so much fucking better. fucking, was it a Japanese guy, I think, won the Olympic gold medal in skateboarding. And they're just better at fucking drawing. And they, whenever, like, The Simpsons has something, like if The Simpsons, there's the episode where Mr. Burns made fishing nets out of those, like, 6-pack can holders. And they shipped that out to, like, China or somewhere to have the Chinese animate it, because they're the ones who put in the time and effort to draw all the intricate little bits. Where you get American animators, I guess, just go, well, I'll draw Homer, but I'm not drawing anything else. There's just something about the way they do things, I don't know. They put in the work. And the results are fucking insane. All this shit. I forget how this book ends, which is why I'd like to at least get to the end. Oh, of course. Come with me now, accept what you are. Number 41. Number 41? Precisely. Ooh. Wow. It's raffle time! Raffle time! Raffle time! It's fucking motherfucking raffle time! Goblins! Today, someone's gonna win some motherfucking goblins! This one and this one. Let's do the thing. Ewan. And Ewan, there you go. Signed, ready to go, with some stickers. To Big Z! Biggie Z! I dedicated an entire podcast episode to him before. I've mentioned him because of his hot sauce. Just can't fucking get rid of him, apparently. I guess he's a friend or so. Maybe I can refer to him as a friend. Hello, Mr. Z, if you're watching. Oh, you fucking better be watching. You've won. No favoritism. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'll give it to my friend. I chose the winners completely at random. This is the one that came up. He commented, so he wins. I should probably know his address by heart by now, the amount of stuff he's been kind enough to purchase from me. But yeah, Biggie, send me a message. Give me your address again, because I haven't written it down. And I will send you things. Look, here's the envelope, ready to go. Get the things. And I think I've got a couple of prints left of a goblin carrying a pig. If I have, I might pop one of those in there just so there's an extra little goblin in there. But that's ready to go. So I'll send that off Monday. It's currently Thursday, so it'll give me the weekend to chill. Also, Colby Williams. I'll cover this bit up. Colby Williams, you won last week. Apparently didn't watch the episode. Thanks. I'll send you a message, I guess, but he's not hit me up to claim his prize from last week. So, I mean, well, I'll get it. I covered that bit up because it says a headless gay picture, which is a really funny story. You're gonna laugh. Basically, this is primary school. I couldn't have been older than like 8 or 9 or 10 or something. One of the kids in my class comes up to me during break when we were on the playground, and he says, "Do you want to see a headless gay picture?" And I said, yes. I didn't give it too much time, too much thought. I just said, yeah, show me. So he shows me the picture. What it actually is a picture of Kenny from South Park without his hood. Because what he actually said was, do you want to see a hoodless Kenny picture? Because at that time, I think the film, I don't know if the film had come out yet, which is how long ago this was. And so the idea of seeing Kenny without his hood was like a big deal. Like you just didn't see that on a daily basis. But this is one of those kids who, like, his dad was well off. He always had access to computers very early on, so he was on the internet a lot from a very young age. He had come across a picture of Kenny without his hood, and he was showing it to people. So he came to show it to me, because, you know, as an 8-year-old, I was into South Park, as I should be. But I thought, I didn't hear him properly, which might actually be an issue, because I've had that my whole life, where I just don't hear what people are saying properly. I thought he said, would you like to see a headless gay picture? Why did I say yes? What was I expecting to see? Why would I agree to that? Would you like to see a picture of a homosexual with no head? Yes, show me the picture of a gay with no head. Why would I? I wasn't sure if I misheard him at the time. All I thought I heard, and maybe that's it, maybe I was just curious as to what the fuck he was talking about. So I was like, sure, show me this picture. That's apparently a headless gay I thought he said, do you want to see a headless gay picture? That's what I thought he said. Why did I say yes to that? That's absurd. And then he shows me this picture, and it's a little picture of Kenny without looking like fucking his scruffy, like, blonde hair, big South Park eyes. Looking like this. And that's all it was. And he was like in his room or something. That's all the picture was. So he shows me that. And in my head, I went, oh, a hoodless Kenny. Okay, I see what you meant now. But outwardly, I was like, haha, wow, I can't believe that's what he looks like. I played it off really well, I'll be honest. I didn't let on that I thought he said a headless gay picture. Can you imagine? Ewan, do you want to see a hoodless Kenny picture? Do I want to see the picture of a headless gay? No, I don't want to see. No, Ewan, a hoodless Kenny from South Park without his. Oh, that makes so much more sense. What the fuck was I thinking? Why did I say yes? Why would I have wanted to see a headless gay picture that's so fucking ridiculous? I don't even like this drawing. What are we doing? I feel like this podcast isn't even about the drawings anymore. It stopped being about that a long time ago. It's just a platform for me to talk about whatever, and drawing is just the sort of, you know, the thing to do while talking. It's a ruse. Drawing? I don't draw. I'm not gay with no head. Come on now. Headless gay. I can't believe that was a fucking. I think, if nothing else, I always like to have enough of the picture drawn to do the thumbnail for the video. Sometimes I add bits afterwards, sometimes I don't. But it would be nice to at least have that much done. Also, there isn't too much planning in this piece, so if it's not good, that's why. That's my excuse. It's an orc with 2 swords, and he's like supposed to have fucking cut the dragon here, and this is dragon blood spooging out of its wound. Holy do you know what I haven't done? I got so distracted by this and the headless gay that I forgot about this week's raffle. Oh my god. So you can win this week on Patreon. Leave a comment on the Patreon page on the video or on the YouTube page of the video during the week of this coming week. Any comment swear words that people cunt, shit, fuck, piss. This is a comment. Fucking 8 equals 3 or whatever. It's penis. I love all the comments. Leave more. More this week than there were previously. So that's cool to see that more people are into it. You can win this drawing. I think I did it. I don't know if it was a year or some sort of like celebratory thing. I was just drawing this, just a random thing. But also, I found this. I was really happy I found this because I wanted to give it away in a raffle anyway. It's my little Pokemon Fusion zine. Little Pokemon Fusion. You've got a Pikastoise, a Blastochew, an 8-plume, Mankey Plume, Plumeape, a Ditto Tongue, a Lickitung, a Lickitung, a Magichew, or a Pikicarp? Magichew. I prefer Magichew. Magnesia, or Pinsomite. Ha! A Jigglydude. Or the other one, Geopuff. Geopuff is okay. Jigglydude. You can't beat Jigglydude. That's a good name. Magnadish, or Odomite. And I didn't put anything. Do you know what I will do though? Because that's not a photocopy or anything. That's all original drawings. So that's an original thing. You can, I guess, if you're into it, you can open it up and enjoy it like that. But obviously, it's meant to be enjoyed like this. It's a little book full of original drawings of Pokemon fusions. So you can win that. And this guy, whatever he is, just some alien thing. I'll look through my leftover prints again, throw some of them in there, some stickers. We'll get the old brand new fleshy weshy wesh bobs. Maybe not 4, maybe a couple of butt stickers in there as well. So that's pretty fucking neat, isn't it? Yeah, leave a comment. Win this. That's cool. Interact. Yeah, that's the thing. Carefully put that down. Normally I screw up my artwork. I don't give a shit. But if it's for somebody, I guess maybe I should take at least a little bit of care. Headless gay. Can you imagine? I did say I don't have much to show in terms of what I've been up to, which I guess isn't technically true. I'm working on a commission currently, which I'm quite happy with. The brief was a robot samurai, so I drew that after a couple of designs. That's what I came up with. It's got like the samurai pads and stuff. He's going to have like Colossus kind of arms and legs. And then all of these on his arms and legs and back are all like cables, thick cables. They're going to be orange. And he's going to have like glowing eyes and shit. And he's got like these steam jet things on his arms and they're blowing steam up behind him. It's ready to paint. I should have done this for the fucking podcast really, shouldn't I? So all the steam is going to be like, a very, very light brown, pale, brown, smoky kind of colour. And then orange for all the cables and shit, and then metallic blues and greys for the rest of it. So that'd be really nice, I think. That'd be a really nice piece when that's finished. I might get some of that done today. We'll see how that goes. I was visited recently by an old friend called Joe, who we were at college together in like 2006, 2007, 2008-ish. And she recently found me on Instagram and was like, hey, what's up? And we've been talking and we hung out. And because I drew her nude, mostly nude in her underwear, a bunch of times at college. And she was like, hey, you can draw me again. Specifically because this is a painting I did of her based on, this is a print, a bad photograph and print of a painting I did of her, 2008, The Ewan. I signed my drawings, The Ewan. 2008. And this is a painting I did based on drawings I did of her that she has hung up in her home, and her parents love it. They're all cool with it. It's all cool. We thought it'd be really, really cool to recreate that. So I don't know. I'll show, I guess, one of the drawings I did. So that's her now. That's a drawing I did with her sat in front of me, which is really, really cool. So I will adapt this and paint it. I'm going to paint it in the same tones and colours. I've got reference photos and stuff to make sure I get the lighting and everything. And then that'll be a really cool like side-by-side piece. Was it 13 years? 2008 to 2021. 13 years difference, man. And just this painting, like, it's not bad. I'm quite happy with like some of the lighting and some of the shapes and stuff, but I was again trying to have a style, and I was compensating for a lot with like these lines coming out here and here, and then like adding in circles on knuckles and shoulders and things to try to have a style. And I don't know, this was supposed to be fabric, but whatever the fuck. So it would be really cool to see a painting I do now of the same girl in almost the same position, and I'm mirroring the positions on purpose. So rather than just be the same thing twice, it's going to be like that. So you'll have this painting and this painting like looking at each other almost, which is pretty fucking cool. So that's something I've got to work on. I've got some other drawings of her. There's been a few on my Instagram, but I've got some others I'm working on a bit more in depth. So there's, yeah. So I say, I've got nothing to show at the moment. I'm not really. I say I did all those fucking cartoon characters. Most of them sold. Some of them are still available. As of recording this, I don't know. Maybe that'll change. Who knows? Have you ever played this game Skyrim? Ah, yes. Lick my Skyrim. Wouldn't that be a treat? It's hard to draw ballpoint drawings big. Even this is like the size of the dragon head is a big thing to draw, but it's bigger than I normally draw anyway. But you know, it's not. My penis isn't bigger than I normally draw. I don't know. Any excuse to use the word penis, eh? Some would say obsessed. I just call it unimaginative. Dragon horns, dragon horns. Does whatever a dragon horns. I looked a little bit in that Art of Skyrim book that I showed. I was going to show that as the art book, but I was like, I literally did that for a whole other episode, so I won't. But I looked in there briefly just to get the general idea of like Skyrim dragon shape and orc armor, basic orc armor. I've left out a lot of the armor details. Also, where's that shoulder here? Arm here. Yeah, that arm doesn't look right to me, but fuck it, whatever. Yeah, so I got a few basic details out of the book, and then I've just been sort of making the rest of it up as I go along. Yes. I don't know if I'm happy with it. But I guess it's my sketchbook. It's just a quick drawing. Nothing grand. Spoke a little bit about Skyrim. I don't know if I'd planned to speak more about Skyrim, but maybe I feel like if I'm going to do Skyrim, maybe I should spend the whole thing talking about Skyrim. But like, I mean, how much can I really say? Should I draw like a big fucking claw? I guess he'd have his wing attached to it, wouldn't he? I actually had to see, sometimes it's fun to be a real piece of shit in those sorts of games, Fallout and Skyrim and stuff, to just go around killing everybody. But then I started a new game. I was the fucking Argonian, my lizard man. I named him Pizzard. Pizzard the Lizard. I always name my characters funny names as well because I know I completely forget their name because it doesn't come up often until you get like someone sends thugs after you and they have a note with them that says kill this person and if or attack this person, and if you have to kill them, I don't mind. And then it says the name. So I had the girl orc character I mentioned, her name was Pooh, which I did just for fun because I don't care, and then I completely forgot about it until one of those moments came up and it said you have to kill the orc Pooh. It made me laugh and laugh. So my lizard is named Pizzard, i.e. Pizzard the Lizard. I started a new game. I was going around killing people just for fun, and then I went to Solitude because I always go up north to the Steed Stone early on so I can carry more shit, so I can sell more shit, so I can get more money, and crafting materials to get my smithing up and what not. So I was headed there, so I went to Solitude, killed some people outside of Solitude, just people wandering about, maybe some Thalmor or something, and then went back to Solitude. Thalmor at Solitude. And everyone was attacking me. All the guards were just attacking me straight away, and I tried talking to them, tried sheathing my weapons. Nothing worked. They were just attacking me until I was dead, and then I died, came back to life, went back, they were still attacking me. So basically I couldn't go to Solitude, which is a pretty fucking major place to go. It's got good shops, good smith, good quests and stuff. It's Solitude's pretty necessary to have as a place to be, and I just couldn't go there, so I abandoned that. Luckily it was very early on in the game, and I restarted the game and didn't kill those people anymore. But that's the problem, is you want to be a bastard and just kill everyone and, take the consequences. But when the consequences are, there's this main sort of place in the game where you just can't really go because everyone tries to kill you the second you set foot in there. It's a bit of a fucking letdown of spoils the game. I had that happen in Markarth in one of my really early playthroughs, late into the game as well, so I couldn't go to my... Maybe there's a way around that I just don't know of, but from what I could tell, as soon as I set foot in the place, all the guards come at me and attack me. I can't talk to them, I can't sheath my weapon, I can't hide, they just attack me until I'm dead. And once I die, the game is basically reset to the last place you were, so it's not like, well, we killed him now, we'll leave him from now on. So then next time they see you, they try and kill you again. There's just no way I could fucking get around it. So that was that. Fucking fun times. Which is really interesting. I think that's the problem with Skyrim talk, is it gets like that, to be like, well, I've got this character and I did this, and unless you're talking to someone who's an avid player of the game, they don't really care. Maybe I'll try to make the next episode more relatable to the layman, to the lame man, as I like to call him, because I'm really funny. Does it have to be ballpoint, Ewan? Maybe you'd have more success if you used other materials. I still need to get more ink for this brush pen. I'll do that maybe this week. Probably not. It's a nice idea, but let's be realistic. I probably won't. Don't know how Karl Kopinski does it, man. The battle scenes he draws are fucking ridiculous. Just figuring out what positions to draw people in, where to put them to make the fights and shit look realistic. I know there's other people that do it besides Karl Kopinski, but he's been on my mind recently as somebody who's very good at it. He did Games Workshop art for a long time. And it's actually, I've only really become aware of Karl Kopinski in the last few years. And I was into Warhammer big time, back in the day. And there's so much Games Workshop Warhammer art that I've seen and loved, and only recently become aware that, like, oh shit, that's Cole Kopinski doing that shit. God damn. He doesn't anymore, but at the time, he was doing some real shit. And I think at the time is when I had a good friend who, we're not in touch anymore, so he's maybe still a friend, but we're just literally just not in touch. So I wouldn't feel comfortable reaching out of nowhere without a reason. But I had a friend who I guess still works there at like the head office. He writes the rules for some of the games and stuff. He's a pretty major player in the company. And he could have introduced me to Cole Kopinski if I had a fucking clue who Cole Kopinski was. And I'd have some kind of like link to Cole Kopinski. Man. Hey, the shit you you miss out on when you're just not quite aware of what the fuck it is you're doing. That's life though, isn't it? That's how it goes. I don't feel like, oh, I should have done that, then I could have. It just is what, you know, and again, at that time I was very young. And Mr. Kopinski hasn't been doing Games Workshop stuff for years and years, so it's not like, not remotely recent. So I wasn't in a position to care or do anything about it. What have you? And I draw a dragon because if you're drawing Skyrim, there's so much stuff I can draw in Skyrim that you could look at and go, oh, is that like a troll from Skyrim? Or is that fucking... what are those fucking trees? A Spriggan. Is that a Spriggan? The sexy, sexy Spriggans, or the fucking shapely flame Atronax? I could draw any of that shit and you could go, oh, it's Skyrim, okay. But I think the most obvious thing to draw when drawing something Skyrim related is a dragon, isn't it? Because that's the whole thing of Skyrim, isn't it? Dragons. The dragons are back, they've returned. But there's a big bad dragon bringing them back from the dead. And then there's this other dragon who's a good dragon. And then there's this... You're the Dragonborn, and then there's another Dragonborn, and it's, oh my god, what's going on? PSK, we're making that green. People always say, what the hell does that mean? Peace for the people who can't.